Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Councilman Brown. Councilman Fields.
Here.
Councilwoman Miles.
Present.
Councilwoman Peterson.
Present.
Councilman Pete.
Here.
Vice Mayor Nickerson.
Here.
Mayor Wood.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll now ask Dr. Woodard, the pastor of Dumfries United Methodist, to come and open us up with an invocation, please.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to provide the opening prayer this evening. Would you bow your heads and pray with me? Eternal God, we thank you for this day, for it is a day that you have made, God, and we are happy, glad, and rejoicing in it. Now, Lord, we come asking for your guidance, for your wisdom, and your support as we begin this meeting. We pray that our focus will be aligned with the needs of the Dumfries community. Thank you so much for Mayor Woods, the town council, and all of the leaders gathered here today and at every level in our city or town. Thank you for all that's done for this community. And we pray, God, that you will continue to give us grace to bring truth, justice, and stability to this area. We pray, God, that you would give us the power to do what is right and to do what is fair, and help us to engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow closer as a community, and please help us to nurture the bonds of this community. Finally, we pray that everything said and done in this meeting will be pleasing and acceptable to you, God. Let all the people of God say amen.
Amen. Amen. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. All right, next on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions from the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to amend the agenda to add 2 closed session items, one dealing with litigation, the other with a personnel matter.
Okay. Anything up, Mr. Pete? Oh, no, you didn't have, okay.
So move.
Okay, it's been motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion by Pete, second by Mr. Brown. All right, seeing no, yes.
I do have a question. I'm sorry, where are we placing the closed session?
My apologies, at the end of the agenda, Vice
At
Mayor.
the end?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
so it'll become item 10.
thank you.
Our attorney is en route anyway.
The attorney has arrived.
Oh. Oh,
So does it still?
No, that's still
we
good.
should get at the end?
yeah, that's fine. All right. All right, seeing no further discussion, I'll call for the question. All right, Mr. Fields,
Yes.
Mr. Pete,
Yes.
Ms. Miles.
Aye.
Mr. Brown,
Aye.
Ms. Peterson.
Aye.
Ms. Nickerson,
Yes.
and that's a yes for me. All right, the agenda carries. All right, next on the agenda is a proclamation declaring February as Career Technical Education Month. It says, whereas February 1st through the 28th has been designated Career and Technical Education Month by the Association for Career and Technical Education, and whereas Career and Technical Education offers students the opportunity to gain the academic, technical, and employability skills necessary for true career readiness. And whereas students in the career and technical education programs participate in authentic, meaningful experiences that improve the quality of their education and increase their engagement and achievement. And whereas career and technical education provides students with career exploration opportunities early in their educational experience, which enables them to make informed and beneficial decisions about their academic coursework and pursue established programs of study and career pathways. And whereas leaders from business and industry nationwide report increasing challenges related to addressing the skills gap and connecting qualified professionals with available careers in critical and growing CTE-related fields, including healthcare, energy, advanced manufacturing, hospitality, cybersecurity, information technology, nursing, and such. And whereas career and technical education programs prepare students for these and other fulfilling careers by offering integrated programs of study that link secondary and post-secondary education and lead to the attainment of industry recognized credentials. And whereas career and technical education programs ensures that employers have access to a qualified and thriving workforce, ensuring America is a strong and competitive economy. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Town Council of Dumfries, Virginia, we do hereby proclaim February 1st through the 28th as career technical education in the town of Dumfries, and urge all citizens to become familiar with the services and benefits offered by the career and technical education programs in this community, and to support and participate in these programs to enhance their individual skills and productivity. Signed, Mayor Derek R. Wood, by order of council. Mr. Doug Wright.
Mayor Wood and council members, on behalf of the school board from Prince William County Public Schools and our superintendent, Dr. McDade, I'd like to thank you. My name is Doug Wright. I have the privilege to serve as a supervisor for all the career and technical education programs in Prince William County Public Schools. We have 260 teachers that want to say thank you. We have over 30,000 students in the Prince William County school system that daily access a career and technical education program. Our focus is to make sure that they are college, career, and life ready. All our students, our doors and programs are open to all students. And anytime you want to visit and learn more about our programs, we have 140 high school programs to offer to students. Everything from, as Mayor Wood mentioned, cybersecurity, medical health, biomedical technology, all the way to the more skilled trades such as plumbing, welding, electrical. Our doors are open to help meet the needs of our students in our communities, and you all send us some of the finest students, and we appreciate that. So please send that word out about getting involved and knowing about career and technical education, because there's good stuff out there. It's not home ec anymore. It's not shop. We're doing great stuff with today's students, getting them ready for the world ahead. And there are a lot of ways to be successful. Just 1 second. I was just at Potomac High School this Saturday. Our students competed in Skills USA. It's a competition that celebrates students in their trade. These welding students came from four other high schools in the region, and they competed. Our students placed 1, 2, and 6th place, and they'll move on to state competition. It's that kind of awareness of their skills and really holding them up. That's like winning the state football champion for some students, right? That, may have struggled academically, but they come into a welding program or another type of program and they excel. So it's because of your support, you're helping us to get the word out, and the parents in your community that really help us make a difference. It's all about being educated, about knowing what options are out there for students, because our doors are open for everybody. Thank you so much. This means a lot to us. It really does, that you all recognize the work we're doing. Mayor, I know you've been with me and we've worked on a lot of things. So thank you very much. Council members, thank you for your support. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Doug. It's funny. I remember being the only boy in home economics back in junior high school, and to see it evolved into what it was. I wish we had some of the kitchens and stuff that they got now with some of these schools. And seeing it. Thank you for those beautiful remarks, Doug. Thank you. And give our regards to Dr. McDade for her continued commitment to these career. Next on the agenda is the approval of our minutes from our February 7, 2023 minutes.
Mayor, I move we approve the minutes from February 2023.
Okay. All right, it's been properly moved and second. Any discussion on the minutes? All right, seeing no discussion, I'll call for the question. All right, Mr. Pete,
Approve.
Mr. Brown,
Aye.
Ms. Peterson.
Aye.
Mr. Fields.
Yes.
Ms. Miles.
Aye.
Ms. Nicholson.
I abstain due to absence.
And that's a yes for me. That motion carries 6-0-1. All right, next on our agenda is citizen comment period. This time, any citizen that signed up can speak to anything on the agenda, anything that they feel deemed necessary to talk to the council about. Madam Clerk, is there anyone signed up?
Yes, sir. We have Mr. Jerome Johnson, Boys and Girls Club.
Hey. Mrs. Johnson, just please state your name for the record and your address.
Jerome Johnson, 2529 Sweet Clover Court, Dumfries, Virginia. I want to stand up here first and tell you guys that you are doing a phenomenal job right here in the county. You are truly making Dumfries a destination. And as being a part of the Boys and Girls Club, I know that Councilman Pete at one time was on the Parks and Recreation, and we know that it's important for our kids to start being able to get outside and be active. And I really appreciate that yesterday you guys were able to have the Youth Empowerment Summit here, and I saw some of the footage of that online. And we would love to really be able to get more of our kids to be able to come right out here to the Boys and Girls Club, our Hydro Club that's right down the street that many people don't know is actually here. And right now we have a petition that's going to come to you guys soon about a park that we're looking to have put right here in the county that will service all the kids. So when that comes to you, I'm asking that you vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, is there anyone else signed up?
Yes, sir. Ms. Patricia Borka.
Ms. Booker?
Hello, my name is Patricia Borka. I live across the street at 17623 Duke Street, and I work across the hall at Young Marines. I heard about the park or the fitness, the National Fitness Campaign Outdoor Fitness Court. And I just wanted to offer my support for that. I think it's a fabulous idea. I moved to Dumfries from Alexandria. We had something similar to that up there that is used by everybody in the community. So I think that's a wonderful thing to bring to our community, part of the destination Dumfries. I know that there's talk on different locations, and I know I've spoken with Mayor Wood about this as well. The park over by Grand Park Middle School is a wonderful area for it, but I ask to also consider something along Main Street as part of the destination Dumfries and the Main Street Dumfries revitalization. Something to draw people here. Or another third option would be the new park that's going up on the hill as part of the hiking trails and walking trails that are up there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, was there anyone else signed up?
Yes, sir. Mr. Cleveland McClory.
So please state your name and address for the record.
All right.
And if you came in late and didn't get a chance to sign up, please come up here and sign up. And we'll get you on.
My name is Cleveland McClory. I live at 15327 Watermill Terrace in Woodbridge. I am here today just as a Prince William County resident and as a supporter of health and wellness to speak on behalf of the outdoor fitness project that you guys are looking to move forward with. I think it's a great idea. I think that there needs to be more of a push towards health and wellness across the county as well. And it'll be a great idea and a great start for Dumfries to take the lead on that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Did anyone come in that wanted to get an opportunity? You just go to the mic and state your name. She'll get it. State your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Shirese Brown, 3708 Masthead Trail, Triangle, Virginia. I was here talking to Councilman Pete also about the fitness center that's supposed to be coming. I'm also in cahoots with that. I would like to see that happen because there's a lot of things that these kids need out here. They need fitness for one. I've rarely seen any parks out here like this. I see one out there in Dale City along that strip. It's like a little workout center, I guess, around the new walkway. I don't know the right verbiage for it. I think that would be a beautiful thing out here. I know my son and anywhere from the teenage community, especially around my way, there's a lot of violence, gun violence, everything that's going on. And I think that's because they have nothing to do. And I think if we give them an opportunity, especially if I heard we all supposed to have a rec student. I heard about so many different things that were supposed to be here that hasn't came. And I think we really need something for the community. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right. At this time, the citizen comment period is, no, oh, we got the one. Oh. Your name and address for the record, ma'am.
Monique Wood, 18138 Tibbs Lane, Dumfries, Virginia. I just wanted to make a comment about the building that we acquired for the community center. I would like it if council could take a look at some of the places that's already established, like Dale City Recreation Center. Look at the facilities there, look at the Chin Center, come up with some ideas on how you all can implement activity and classes for the youth and the senior citizens and just everyone in general in the community. And let's do it in an expedient fashion if possible, because I know everybody's talking about when is this going to happen? When are we going to do it? We heard about this building being purchased. And just like other facilities or places who just jumped right in and got right to work and then they were open in less than a year. We want to see if that can possibly happen with the new acquired building that we have for the youth. I took a look at Dale City, saw how it's very small, but they put a lot into it. And I think we could do something like that. Just if you all could put a field trip together or one-on-one, go on your own, check out the facilities and see if we can make this happen for the kids. Thank you.
Is there anyone else signed up to speak? All right.
Hello, Monica Stanley, 3706 Masthead Trail. I am also in favor of fitness around here. I don't know if people have noticed, but I walk Main Street frequently. So to have something out there, I normally will stop and wrap my bands around the metal poles out there. But if something was actually out there that we could actually use, that would be great. And I think more people would probably get healthy around here. So that would be great. I really do like the Main Street idea. Over here at the park, there's a lot going on at that park. So I don't know if people would actually utilize it, but the fitness center, yes, can we get jumping on that? And I volunteer my services. I work as a software developer full-time. I've been doing that for the past 20 some odd years. So any like beginner level stuff that maybe some of the kids, I would prefer to work with young women, Black Girls Code. So, if you need anybody, you guys know where at least two of you know where I live at. So, and that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. It's all on the record now, Mark. And we do see you walking up and down with your bags on the poles on the street. Was anyone else signed up? I did get a letter. I'll read into the record that came in this afternoon. I think I forwarded it to council, but I'll read it. It came in from the Young Marines today about their position as well. It says, gentlemen, we recently saw the consideration for placement of the outdoor fitness facility on your agenda. The Young Marines would be very interested in this facility. We recommend the placement here at the Dumfries Town Hall complex. This site provides ample parking, restrooms, a spacious, currently empty outdoor park area, and proximity to city resources. Additionally, we understand the Dumfries Farmers Market will be moving to the parking complex, allowing additional interaction for shoppers and their families coming to the market. As the town conducts other annual events here in the complex, this provides additional opportunities for exposure and use of the fitness facility to attract users throughout the year. And faculty to help support healthy lifestyles would be an excellent addition to the town of Dumfries, regardless of the location. Trends for youth obesity are rising, and this facility could help engage local youth and parents to participate in fun and healthy exercise. I know our staff and occasional visitors would be excited to use as well. I could be reached at billdavis@youngmarines.org. My sincere appreciation for your time and consideration. We look forward to hearing more about this tremendous asset to the Dumfries community. Very respectfully, Colonel William P. Davis, United States Marine Corps, retired National Executive Director of Young Marines. All right. So next on our agenda is our reports and presentations. Ms. Lisa Timmerman couldn't make it here. Her report is in there. If you have any questions about her report, please email it. The second report in your package is from the branch director of the General Heiser Branch Boys and Girls Club. We're going to welcome Miss Judy Moore to the podium, and the floor is yours. Well, we got Boys and Girls Club in the house today.
Good evening, Mayor Wood, council members. Thank you for inviting me and having me here and allowing me to share what we've got going on at the Boys and Girls Club here in Dumfries. So this is looking at 2022. We had 429 members, and 126 of those were teens, and we served 56 military members. With that, so these numbers are getting close to what our pre-COVID numbers were. We're not quite there. We're probably 3/4 of the way there. So that's, and we probably had 50 new members in the month of January alone for 2023. Town members, we're still, that's still been a challenge. We had 15 youth from the town who received their membership was scholarshiped. We had 22 youth from the town who received summer camp scholarships, and 3 youth from the town who have received sports scholarships for 2022. Part of the challenge with the town, getting the town kids there, is there's not a county school bus coming from the school, from Dumfries Elementary or from Grand Park Middle School. So we do transport from both those schools, but the kids that we are transporting are enrolled in our before and after school program. And so they pay a fee for us to do that. And so we are working with, and then we've just had limited bus and staff personnel for the past year. I'm hoping by middle of next month, we will have another bus that will be out of the shop. It's been in the shop since September. I did speak to them today, and they think they'll have the part by the end of the month. And if that's the case, then we'll be getting that bus back. And then I will be having conversations with the principal at Dumfries Elementary School and see if we can, get some of the Dumfries town kids to the club, and we would be picking them up. And that would just be part of the scholarship program from the funds that the town gives us. So these are some of the programs that we had going on in 2022. This is not all of them. This is just the ones, that run for the most of the year. So Passport to Manhood, that is our young men's mentoring program. It's typically about a dozen boys in that group with a staff person, and talking about what it means to be a young man or a young teen growing up and taking on the responsibilities of a man, and then also, building relationships, just all those things that the young men are going through. Smart Girls is the same kind of program, but with our young ladies. We do Healthy Habits. Healthy Habits encompasses a lot. It's a nutrition program, it's a fitness program. And so they do they do challenges in the gym. And then also, we're talking about nutrition, trying new foods. We have different people from the community coming in and cooking with the kids. Torch Club is a community service outreach club. And so that's upper elementary and lower middle school kids that are involved in that. And they typically come up with a couple community service projects that they work on throughout the year. They've done, this past year, they did do a coat drive for the homeless shelter, and they also did a food drive. Money Matters is, just what it says. We're teaching kids, about how to budget, how to, plan for their spending, even, with what little bit they get for allowance, or if they've got jobs or, parents pay them for things, how to manage that money and, use it wisely, and talking about, saving and setting up savings accounts. And then Power Hour is our homework time. We do on Monday through Wednesday. There's 45 minutes that is spent on homework. And if kids don't have homework, then it's educational enrichment activities that they are doing. So these are just some of the pictures, of the kids and programs and, what we've done. The middle slide, if we go back, that one, Miss Lonnie, my daycare director in the morning, she does a nutrition program one morning a week. And so this is her grab and go breakfast. And so it's, showing the kids, okay, if you're running out of time, there's simple things that you can grab and take with you to eat, while you're on your way to school, or, once you get to school, if you have a snack time. And then the picture on the right, we were able to acquire 20 iPads this past year. And so they are used for STEM programming with our youth. And go on. And these are just more pictures of our programs. The top left picture is our Smart Girls. They did a couple really cool things this past year. One of them was it was a fall brunch, and so they invited their parents to come, and the girls had to write love letters to their parents, and the parents wrote love letters back to their girls, and then they shared those at the brunch. And talk about, a morning of crying, pretty much everybody, just listening to them, share their letters with their parents, and then the parents also sharing their letters that they had written to them. It was a really neat experience. The picture on the right, that's one of our summer STEM programs. We had a group of high school and college kids come in for a week last summer, and they did STEM programming. So they were using Legos, they were doing design engineering. They had to create a structure, and then they had to take it through an obstacle course that they did in the gym. They were on scooters and carrying these structures, and then to see who could get it through the obstacle course, without it breaking. This is our youth summit. So this was held at the Heiser Club, but these are young men and women from all the clubs within the organization who came and took part in this. One of our signature programs is our Youth of the Year, and every club strives to have a Youth of the Year, and they're competing against other youth from other clubs. The winner of the Youth of the Year contest gets scholarship funding, moves on to the state level. If they win at the state, then they get more funds towards scholarships, move on to the regional, and then to the national. The National Youth of the Year that was named in 2022 actually came out of one of our clubs that's located in DC. So she's the spokesperson for, thousands of youth throughout the nation and overseas that are on military installations. And so that's just a real honor to have one of our own youth named to that position. This was our flyer for spring camp. So we do offer spring camp every year. We offer summer camp and then also winter camp. So this was last year, the theme was adventures in puppetry. And so they created their puppets. They created their own, had to come up with a puppet show, and then they presented them to the other kids at the club. And then summer camp. So these are two different flyers. One is just the general flyer that's on the left. Last summer, we had themed weeks, and each week was a different nation. And then the activities were based around that nation. So they were trying food from that country. They were doing games and arts and crafts. So that's kind of how we ran summer camp last year. And so these are some of the things that happened during summer camp. We did have 3 weeks of STEM camp. We had 2 different organizations come in and run that for us. We went to the pool. All the kids got to go to the pool every week. We had carnival days, we had nutrition programs, we had park days, and then weekly themes. And these are just some pictures from, summer camp. One of the days was a superhero day. So, some of the staff really got into that. We did go down to Locust Shade Park and take advantage of the Ninja Warrior course down there. The kids had a good day there. The picture on the far right is one of our carnival days. And so they've been playing musical chairs. We had a big bounce house in there. And then they were doing some dancing. And these are just more pictures from summer camp. The 2 pictures on the top, one of our field trips, and these were for kids who participated in the STEM program. We went to Mantech, which is down the road here off of Route 1, and they got to experience virtual reality. That was, if you have never done that, that is an experience in itself. Some of our staff got to go try it out before the kids went, and it was pretty fun to watch the staff as they were going through it, but it wasn't so much fun when I was going through it. And then these are a STEM at the club, and then more carnival day pictures. And just more summer camp pictures. They were the picture on the far left, they were designing a tower, and it had to then hold an object, and each team was given a specific number of spaghetti noodles and marshmallows, and that's what they had to build their towers out of. And then they were tested with, and I'm not sure what they were putting on them to test to see how much they would hold. The top picture is the younger kids. We were given treasure boxes from Lowe's. And so the kids got to put those together using hammers and nails and, get that whole experience. And then the picture in the middle on the far right, they made pizza box solar ovens, and then they were fixing their s'mores outside in those solar ovens. And then the bottom picture is they divided up into groups or teams of about 3 and 4, and they got to paint totem poles. These are some of the programs that we have coming up for the year. Passport to Manhood, Smart Girls, Porch Club, STEM programming. We will also be doing an Ultimate Journey program, which we're working, that is something that will be going out to some of the national and state parks to complete some of the activities in there. Youth for Unity, Healthy Habits, and then Money Matters again. And then sports, we had some really big growth in our sports program from the spring of last year to the season that we're in right now. We have increased this winter. We have 60 basketball players and 61 volleyball players. So our gym is maxed out. It's 3 hours of practice each night, Monday through Thursday nights. So any gym time that the kids get before 5 o'clock is precious time. Community outreach. We did have some people come in at the beginning of the school year, end of the summer, and they did free haircuts for our members. And then the picture in the middle and the one on the far right we were out at some of the schools and, you know, sharing what we do and our programs, what we have. And then this is, we are partnering with the AKA, and they're coming in and doing some leadership programming for our members. And then also they have adopted our kitchen and are doing a remodel for our kitchen. And that's it.
Well, Judy, that was a very thorough report. Keep it up, Joseph. We may go back a couple of slides. And also want to thank your incoming board president next year for being in the room, Mr. Jerome Johnson, as we open the floor up for questions and opportunities to talk about other ways to get engaged. Ms. Miles.
Thank you, Judy, so much for all the work that you do in Dumfries with our children and being innovative and introducing new programs to them at the Boys and Girls Club. We definitely appreciate all the work that you're doing up there with them. You know, you were right there through COVID and everything else. So we definitely appreciate you. I have a question for you. You mentioned that the bus does go pick up some children from the schools and they pay a fee. What I'm wondering is there generally a surplus of the funds that we donate to Boys and Girls Club for our scholarship fund, or do you find yourself turning kids away? Is that something that we need to look at increasing?
So right now there is a surplus, but it's because we haven't been picking up those, because we're down a bus.
Okay.
We haven't been able to go and do an extra route to pick up those kids. Like I said, I spoke to the shop this morning, and they're hoping that part that they've been waiting for since September, they were told it should be here by the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, and that's just what I wanted clarity on. I didn't know if it was a financial issue or if it was just.
No, it's just the kids, there was, and I can't remember the exact year, but there was a point when Dumfries Elementary School, we were in their district and the county bus dropped kids off at our club. That we are no longer in the same district as Dumfries Elementary. And so we don't have a county bus coming from Dumfries Elementary. And so that's where the transportation, we would have 20, 30 kids get off that bus.
Oh, that's fascinating.
And so now that bus, and it's been a number of years. Now the elementary school that's in our district where we are is Swans Creek Elementary. And so we probably have a dozen kids who get off of that bus in the afternoon, but the need isn't as great there as it is in Dumfries Elementary.
Okay, thank you for that insight, because that just means that we need to have some additional conversations with our colleagues and friends on the school board level to find out what we can do to rectify that, because we definitely want to make sure our kids are getting an opportunity to take advantage of these programs. But back to my initial question, have you ever had to turn any children away because of financial issues, or is that generally?
Generally not. Not last summer, probably the summer before, we had to what I did and what I ended up doing last summer was with the town kids, because there was limited funds. I said, you guys pay for a week, I'll scholarship you a week. And if anybody gave any pushback or there was a couple kids where I just scholarshiped them all the way through because I knew that was the need. But there were some kids and families where they were good. If they paid for one, and then we'd pay for the other. Last year, our rate for summer camp was also $100 a week per child. This year, and the reason it was low, and it's been at that 100 a week for since the beginning of COVID, was because we were getting additional funding from the state. That funding is no longer coming to us. And so our rate for summer camp is going up to the pre-COVID rate, which will be $150 a week per child. Any sibling, it would be $130.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And again, thank you for that insight, because budget season's coming up.
Oh,
So it's a great opportunity to figure out where we might need to increase and try to compensate. Because
no, I appreciate all you guys do for us and how you support us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Judy, thank you also for the great presentation and the things that you do there at the Boys and Girls Club. My son does attend the Boys and Girls Club and he loves it there. So thank you. I was also going to ask about the buses. Thank you for explaining that. It sounds like it's something that we need to help work on. Have you had conversations with anyone from the county about the need for those buses? Or
So we've had conversations with people in transportation. And then last night at the Youth Empowerment Summit, I did speak to, and his name, yes, I did speak to him and he said he would look into it. And then I did give him my card so he can reach out to me. He didn't have his card with him, but I did, ask, give him mine so that he can reach out and we can further the discussion.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. That's something that we definitely can help with.
Okay.
Because those are our students over there.
Yeah.
And especially when you consider the fact that we are helping to fund, activities over at the Boys and Girls Club. We're doing that for our students. So we want to make sure that our students are able to utilize that resource. So we will absolutely, I don't know how we'll figure it out, if we'll, take individual efforts or if we'll do something as a council, but we'll definitely look into that and see what we can do to make sure that something's done about that, because the whole point is to make sure that our children are able to have the Boys and Girls Club as a resource that's accessible to them, most importantly. The other thing I wanted to ask about, I lost my train of thought. No, I didn't. Okay, so with all the programs that you have going on here, we don't communicate very well as far as the Boys and Girls Club and the council. Will you please get in the habit of sharing these things with us?
Yes.
So that we can ask maybe our department here who releases our PIO to share these things, because we have children, again, in our community who could benefit from a lot of these programs.
I will.
And we would love to know, we can share them ourselves socially, but we could also share them as a town, because again, this is a resource that we're helping to fund for our community, for our children. So it would behoove us to ensure that they know.
Okay, yes, I will certainly, and I'll try to send you like once a month update on this is what's coming up for the next month.
That'd be great. Thank you.
And typically, some of our programs run for the school year and then some of them run for about 12 weeks. And so they're on like a quarterly cycle and they'll run 3 different because we don't typically run programs in the summer. So programs are something that happen during the school year. We try to incorporate pieces of programs throughout the summer, but not the whole program. The other thing, and this is a need that we have, and part of the funding that you guys do provide for us is to go for maintenance and building upkeep. We have had an issue at the club with some of our roofs, and we have a big expense now that that our board is looking to raise funds to rectify this. I was at the board meeting. It's been a couple weeks now, and this is a number that they gave for all 3 clubs, and I'm not sure what the breakdown is for just the General Heiser Club. But to fix the roof problems at all 3 clubs, it's in excess of $800,000. And that's for 3 clubs. I don't know what the specific number is for our club, but the challenge has come out, somebody did give, and I believe it was 250.
Yeah. And
okay.
We have to raise it.
And,
it was like,
and he's asked for a match. And so that's what our board is, trying to figure out where but it's something, we had a letter this morning from our CEO saying we need to move forward with this so that the price doesn't go up. We've got ours. So we have like 2 or 3 places in our building. Every time it rains, you can, it's going to be leaking in those spots. one of the main areas is in my branch director and my athletic director's office. And so every time it's going to rain, my program director is covering his desk with plastic and putting trash cans all around to catch, the rain that's coming in. And then also to, protect what he's got on his desk. And then there's another spot that, after it's rained a couple times, then the ceiling tiles are falling out. And so then we'll just go back up and put the ceiling tiles back in until it rains again. But this has been, an issue that we've had. So, if you're looking at, wanting to help us, that would also be, whatever funds you guys can provide. And anything will help. I will say that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Mr. Brown?
So thank you, Judy, for all you do. Your name precedes you. I know that you are you have fun doing what you do.
Yes.
And it takes a special person to do that. So I just want to thank you for your commitment. One of the things that I'm hearing consistently is transportation. Last night at the youth empowerment, one of the issue was trying to resolve obstacles for these resources. So we have a Boys and Girls Club, but we don't have a way to get the kids to the club.
Right.
So I think as a community, Prince William County, parents, we should be looking at the school and the transportation to try to provide that, because again, it hits mental, physical, and crime. So we can get these kids to a place where they can be surrounded by positive energy. I think that is something I think we all can agree. So I'm on board with trying to leverage those things to try to get some transportation from the schools. And you mentioned that there was quite a few students that stopped coming or because of transportation. So just thank you for that. And last time you was here, I mentioned that if you needed some sponsors, if kids have been turned around because the parents may not have the funds, just reach out.
Okay. Thank you.
Just reach out.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Just to talk about the bus situation. I know right when COVID came about, there was a 50,000 grant given from the Rosie's Give Back program to the Boys and Girls Club to buy a new bus. And I think you needed some more funds. Did those funds come in and were you able to purchase a
So
new bus?
the funds did come in. Finance, as far as I know, is working on getting that bus. So I have a meeting with my supervisor tomorrow, and every time we meet, that's always one of my questions. Where are we on that bus? Because the funds are all there now.
For the bus?
For the bus.
Okay, so you got a board member here. Make sure you talk to your board member.
So, that's a question. And then Nadia says, I will take it to finance and figure out where they are on that, in that process.
Fully funded the bus.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I wanted to make sure, because I know you was waiting on some more money for a bus.
Yeah.
But Rosie's did get 50,000 towards a bus. So I just wanted to make sure. Council, was there any other questions before we move on in the agenda? All right. Judy, Mr. Pete?
Absolutely, absolutely. When you're speaking about the recreation center, I got to speak up. Okay, so in understanding this, Judy, we've done a lot of things together. I've been knowing you for many years, but again, we come to a point of where we speak of travel versus walkable. And that's where I state often that our recreation center is vital to this community, because even in your proposal or your presentation, there is a cutoff in max capacity when it comes to certain transportational issues, when it comes to program issues. You also, as I see here, even when it comes to your basketball, summer, winter, fall, however the case may be, there's also a cutoff. But then while you guys are running at the Boys and Girls Club, I'm in the community and I still see a mass majority of children that need not competition of a Boys and Girls Club or a recreational center, but they need a sense of partnership or togetherness. And I believe that I hope not that we're not going into Boys and Girls Club versus the recreational center versus walkable versus transportational. I'm looking at a vision of trying to secure all children, even when it comes to you guys, even supporting you guys with bringing you all additional transportation and support for keeping the programs running there at the same time, and not excluding any of the children that doesn't have that affordability, that can't get there, or like I said, when you guys are running your programs, they're just walking around the community. When you speak of your scholarship programs and your membership, summer camps and sports scholarships, my question is, how do children inquire of getting those scholarships? Because I didn't hear that in the program.
So typically, if anybody comes into the club and they're looking for a membership, we have 3 different scholarship opportunities. One of them is if youth have United Healthcare or Anthem Health Keepers insurance, then that will cover their membership fee. If they are military members, if they're, if either parent are active duty, guard, reserve, military, that will cover. There's another form they fill out that takes care of their membership fee. And then, of course, the town of Dumfries funds. So I always ask, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And if they say they live in the town, then all I ask, I just need verification. I need a piece of mail with your address and your name on it. And then I can verify it against the list of the streets within the incorporated town of Dumfries. And if they qualify, then we move on with the conversation as to what else is available for them if they, are interested in, participating in sports or camp, then those conversations are had.
Does the town support the scholarships?
Yes. We get funding from you. That's what I use that funding for. And so I allocate so much of it for memberships, so much of it for sports, and so much of it for summer camp.
Off the top of your head, do you know of how much?
I think it's $1,500 for memberships and a couple thousand. No, it's like $2,500 for camp, and then the rest is for sports. But if I've maxed out one, it's not like it's in stone that it has to be that. So I just keep track of the 5,000 that you guys give and where it's.
And does that cover? And does that? No, I know. Does that cover the children? I see here that you. Yes. No, it doesn't. Does that cover the children? You guys have 40 children here that are receiving memberships and scholarships. Is that enough to cover you guys scholarships from our end?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Could you guys use more to include more children from the town?
Yes, of course, we could use more, because then if we had more, then we could scholarship more summer camp, or we could scholarship more sports. The membership, because the Anthem Health Keepers and the United Healthcare, those are kids who are on Medicaid. And so a lot of those kids, and the kids in Dumfries, have that insurance. So I can either say I'm taking it from the town funds, or we're using the health insurance to cover the membership. And, if I can use the health insurance, then I'm going to use the health insurance to save the town funds for other scholarships.
Ms. Judy, that was an excellent reply from the questions that I had. Thank you very much. And again, I am never, let's say, against the Boys and Girls Club. I'm always in support of the Boys and Girls Club, as you know this for many years, my kids even growing up through the channels. But at the same time, I am also in doing my due diligence for this town,
right?
Looking to secure the maximum execution maximum execution of participation that we can get from all of our children,
right?
And partnering, not against.
Right.
So do understand that.
No,
Thank you very much for
understand.
your time.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Fields.
Okay, one more. Thank you as always. I just have a suggestion. Looking at the slide from youth, the summer camp Youth Around the World, and the countries that you, countries and states that you participated in, it appears, I'm not 100% sure, it appears that about 98% of the kids that go there are Black or African American or children of color. So could you include more minority countries
Okay.
next year? Examples being Jamaica, Barbados, Haiti, Trinidad, Tobago, and of course, an African nation country. That's my suggestion.
Okay, I will take it. This is that summer camp. My daycare director runs all that, but I will certainly take that back to her.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Johnson, did you want to add anything to the funding request or anything? I know that as the board, you good to go. She covered it good.
You guys, for everything you guys do and will continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, that concludes our Boys and Girls Club discussion. I think it was a healthy presentation and discussion from this council. We'll now move into our mid-year budget conversation. As one of the duties of this council is to create policy goals and objectives. And now we're at that point where we to examine the mid-year to see where we are. So we'll pass it on to our intern town manager, Ms. Jonay Provost White, for a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Vice Mayor and council members. This will be just a key highlights of the mid-year financial review. We'll go through town revenue first. DMV revenue is up by 150%. Building permits are up 122%. Transient tax 76%. Gaming tax 60%, and meals tax 60%. The large increase in the DMV revenue is due to the fact that the DMV Select has gained some contract work from other auto dealers and assisting them with vehicle registrations. They actually have 2 contracts now. At the time of this posting, they only had 1, but recently gained another contract to assist not only other dealers, but also other DMV sites with registering new vehicles. Building permits are up because we have received the last of the townhomes for Highland Park subdivision. So that subdivision, that section 2 of that subdivision now is fully built out. So at this point, they're just finishing up the final touches of section 2. And then moving on to expenditures, we're currently looking at 64% of the budget, the target budget. We do have some increased costs for utilities as staff comes back into office more, using more lights, more heating. We also have a new building that we have to heat and provide water for. We also have seniors coming back to the rec center, hosting in-person events. We also have put lighting out on the parking lot lights at Town Hall. So during the Christmas events, like the tree lighting and the parade, these lights were up and in use. And so it increased our utility costs. Of course, town police still also has overages due to staff shortages. And just for your edification, Prince William County Service Authority will impose a rate increase starting April 1st of this year. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
All right. Okay, Vice Mayor.
Good evening, Johnny. Quick question. In the past, our financial director, Kim, her last name escapes me. Goodwin presented this information to us, and it was at a much more granular level. Is there a reason why she didn't present it to us this time, and why this is at a very high level highlights as opposed to more in-depth information to give us more of a closer look at where we are mid-year with some of the things like significant differences and projections versus actuals?
No, there is no reason. I was just asked to present the mid-year review. And this is the key highlights that I presented. If you need more detailed budget versus actuals, those can be sent to you for your review.
So I think that it's not necessarily about what I need. I think it's important for our residents to have this information shared with them in a way that they can understand by presentation. In the past, it's been a little more thorough and it's been explained in a way that they could digest. So if you were to share with us the documents similar to what was shared here on the dais, thank you for that. But this doesn't help the residents. And I think that it's important that the residents have a better understanding of where we are at this mid-year review.
I gave you that because I had questions on it.
Oh, so you did
I
this?
put that because I had some questions.
Okay, so for me, thinking about it from a resident's perspective and even from my own now, knowing now that the mayor actually provided this to us versus you providing it to us, this does not suffice for me. It does not suffice from a citizen point of view because it's not enough information. So I would like to see more information. I would like for us to consider maybe coming back next meeting with more information.
Well, I'm gonna ask some questions.
Are we gonna ask questions? Okay.
Then she can bring it back. Yeah, I got some questions.
Okay, because I was going to offer to give an opportunity to redo this for next meeting.
I'm gonna ask my questions.
Oh, okay. Okay, so if that's
Yeah,
fine. So if that's what we're gonna do, then allow me to ask another question.
Okay.
Please, okay. So in looking at this document here that you provided for us, the period ending 12/31/2022, what caught my eye was under the expenses for administration. It showed.
Which month report? January or December?
So this is the December.
Okay, December 30th.
Coming out of December 31st, end of December 31st, 2022. I'd like to bring everyone's attention to page 3. Administration, we're about 5 lines in from the top. Under performance management, the budget was for $30,000. You can see the mid-year to date variance and the percentage is 184%. If what we have in front of us are key highlights, to me, that's something that I would expect noted as a highlight because that's major. So can you help me understand how we were budgeted at 30,000 and it came in so
And if you don't know the answer, you could write it down and bring back, if we asking questions and we need to come back next meeting, you could write it down, just let us know, but go ahead.
Yeah, so that's my question. So to me, that's something that would warrant a highlight because it is such a drastic difference. The variance is so drastic from what was actually budgeted, with us only being halfway through the year. 184% difference is drastic. So when we're talking about highlights, from my point of view, highlights are absolutely anything that is drastic, whether it's higher or lower or any major changes. So that's where I am for now. There may be some other things that'll come up as we keep talking, but thank you.
Did you want to respond or you just want to have the clerk note all the questions and?
Yeah, I'll try to answer what I can answer today.
All right. So Stanley, if you just note the questions. Anybody else have any questions before? I'll go last. Mr. Brown?
So I agree with Vice Mayor. I think we should be reviewing this at another date because getting the financials at this period, I didn't have time to look through and Vice Mayor just spotted something very quick that is easy to spot. So I think maybe looking at this again, bringing this back to the council at another date. In between time, having more conversation with the council about how the presentation is going to be laid out. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Was there any other discussion before I just note my questions? You have, huh? No, we don't need to make a motion. I'm just gonna put my questions down so that in the next presentation, one, and I guess the last time, Ms. Goodwin was standing here, I asked her about these, percentages when it says DMV percentage at 150%. To me, that means if we budgeted 50,000, then I'm gonna see 75,000. It's 3 times the amount. But it's really, when I look at the numbers, it's only 50%. It's high, it's trending 50% over where we're at. So, and then the permits is only 23%, 22% over versus what it's saying there. The biggest thing, and I don't know if you can answer this or Ms. Pandak can answer it. When I look at, I just want to go through our budget and our revenues. Anytime our revenues exceed, what's the percentage? Do we need to make an appropriation or change?
It's not when your revenues that are already appropriated
Right.
change. It is when you make an amendment to the budget to appropriate new revenues. If it's more than 1% of your budget, then you have to have a public hearing before you do that.
Okay, so we have to have a public hearing when the budget, say that again, that 1% thing.
Any changes to the budget with increased revenues of 1% or more.
Okay, so we budgeted, if you got your budget documents with you on page 40, we adopted for our American Rescue Plan, we adopted $450,000. We got the second half of the funds, which is showing in revenue on page, when you look at revenues. So I'm wondering, what are we supposed to do with these revenues we received for the American Rescue Plan for over $3 million?
I'm not going to be able to answer that.
So it's line item 10-3240-500 on page number 2 in the December 31st. The funds came in. So that's a question we have to.
Yeah, we can go back and look at that. I do have a vague recollection that in fact there was a public hearing heard on that, but we can go back and check that.
All right, because we should, that's another highlight. We got a huge revenue change on the ARPA, and it's not, the ARPA money came in, and just to let the public know on that. All right, so that's on our ARPA funding. So that's major in our budget. When we go through our different departments here, the questions I'm going to ask as we go through the administration department, we have funding to support. So this is when we create a budget document, we do descriptions in each category for each admin on what the budget is going to be for. As a council, we set these policies, and this is what we're directing this money to go through. So in our admin department, I guess the question was, we have funding to support 2 financial positions to see an update on, we're at the mid-year. Did we fund those 2 positions, or do we have to make allocations? Will we make it? Just where we at with the funding to support those 2 additional finance people? And did we hire them, or did we not hire them, or where we're at with that? I don't know if you can.
We did hire one.
So
We did hire one person.
Okay. So that's good. When we get into planning and community development, the question is, and we have this big initiative in our revenue, just some updates to us, and maybe you bring this back to us on the Destination Dumfries initiative to facilitate the Main Street Vision Plan to provide incentives to revitalization and development of projects. That was a pretty huge expenditures that we've already spent on it. So we just would love to have some updates on the Destination Dumfries initiative and the affordable housing program. As we move back to our staffing on the police department, and our current staffing on there, our level now is where we're at?
We have 12
We have 12
positions.
All right, so if you go back to the slide where you talked about the police department on your updates, back one more. Town police continues to show overage due to staff shortages. Now help me understand that statement, a shortage because of staff order. We're funded here Department, 14 police officers, 1 admin assistant, 3 sergeants, 1 captain, and 1 chief of police. That's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the admin assistants, that makes 20. And we have 12. We currently have 12. And then, and then the overtime, so this is my question, because the overtime is high, and then we're trending at 63% of those salaries, but we're funded for 20 positions, right? So the question, you see where I'm coming at with it? So those are some of my just low-level questions on a detailed financial report when we look at the funding of where we're at on staffing and those type of situations in the budget. And then usually by this time in February, we're usually have our audit in front of us, and we're preparing to have an audit presented to us from the last year as we closed out. Usually November, they come in, they've already done everything, November, December, and then we get presented. Can you also tell us where we're at as far as the audit is concerned? And then lastly, last question, am I talking too fast, Andy? I see you typing. Okay, and then lastly, our fund balance and our savings. Like where are we at? How much are we in savings? We haven't seen a fund balance update on where we're at. I know where we're at in 21, but I don't know where we're at in our fund balance and where we're at with our savings. Like how much are we doing? I know we had so much money in savings. So where we're at there. And those are the questions. So we want to yield the rest of this presentation and bring it back next month. I'm comfortable with, next meeting, I'm comfortable with that. Right, anybody? No, we don't need to vote on it. We can just put it on the agenda.
Just a suggestion, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Fields.
Could we have the finance director deliver this?
Yeah, we're fine. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we'll have to find it. All right, so we'll move on. Next on the agenda then. All right. Now I lost my agenda page. All right, next on the agenda, it's the capital improvement projects. Unless we could bring that one back too then, all together. Or you want to go through that? You can go through those highlights. Because that's easy. Huh? Yeah, you can go through that one. The capital improvement projects.
Okay. So just to give an update of where we are on our capital improvement projects, starting with Route 1 widening project. Utility relocation has begun with town residents. They've been notified by the right-of-way consultants that are assisting Prince William County with locating the right-of-way along the northbound side of Route 1. JMT continues to work with the developers to incorporate existing and proposed projects for Iris on Main. That is the old Pete Singh project, as well as the Rose Gaming Resort. The town continues to attend meetings with Prince William County and project consultants to coordinate the project progress of the project, and town staff provides monthly updates to VDOT. On our police vehicle purchasing, Ford Motor is still on hold waiting for vehicles to be delivered. As everyone is well aware, there's chip shortages as well as other parts to the vehicles that have not been supplied by the manufacturer. So vehicles are not going to be delivered in a timely manner. We're expecting hopefully our first shipment to come in at the beginning of fiscal year 24, which is between July and August. We're expecting production to increase, hopefully late summer, early fall, but we only expect to receive a few cars, maybe 1, maybe 3 at a time. Quantico Creek project, the town's application for our SLAF grant funding has been approved. That was approved for $376,257, which was a match, a 50% match for the project. And we also had a stormwater mapping project to remap the stormwater utility impervious surface mapping for the town because we have so much new residential development that's not being accounted for in our stormwater management fee collection. We are still in the process of the contract negotiations for that. And those are the 4 CIP projects we're working on. Are there any questions?
All right. Mr. Brown.
Quickly, can you just explain what's happening in phase 2 of the stream restoration? What's happening there?
Phase 2 of Quantico Creek will start where phase 1 ended, which is about where Fairfax Street comes into Batetown Road, all the way to the overpass of where Main Street crosses over Quantico Creek. It's not a very long strip, but that was slated for phase 2. So it's going to be a continuation of the stream restoration, meaning that they will lay the banks back, they will remove the vegetation and restore non-invasive species along the banks of the creek, and allow for what's considered floodplain, to allow when the water rises during peak storm events to stay contained within the channel. Right now, as you all know, Batetown Road floods. So it's not going to solve the flooding problem. It will alleviate some of the flooding. I'm not quite sure if everyone knows that 95 passes over Quantico Creek right there. If you look closely at those pillars that hold up 95, they're actually drainage pipes that come down. They're basically gutters. When it rains, we take on the water from 95 into the creek, as well as all the development upstream from Quantico. So you have to look at that portion of the creek as really being the end of the line before it hits the Potomac. So we get a lot of flooding, we get a lot of inundation. Over the years, it has what we call incised the banks of the stream, meaning instead of the banks being in a trapezoidal shape, they're in a C-shaped because the water has eroded the banks out and formed sediment deposits. When the sediment deposits on the bottom of the creek, it raises the base water elevation, meaning that the water doesn't have all the capacity, the channel doesn't have all the capacity it had when it was originally created. Now, over time, the sediment raises the water level so that when it floods, has no place to go but out.
So thank you for that. I think for the citizens of the town, understanding what the project is and how it is helping the community as a whole is important. And since the funding has already been approved, do we hold the how fast are we going to be able to start phase 2?
So there's 2 driving factors on this. The primary one is that the Quantico Creek stream restoration was to assist the town to meet its what's called its stream diet. The state put almost the entire state on a stream diet, meaning that we have loading, TMDL loading in the streams that we have to meet because of our MS4 permit. So we have to remove a certain percentage of sediment, phosphorus, and nutrients from Quantico Creek, and we've got a deadline for that. So the plan is to start as soon as we approve the money. Hopefully by this time next year, we should be in a phase, if not at construction, at least bidding out for construction. Because we have a deadline to meet for our permit, we have to have so much sediment removed by a certain time.
Okay, thank you.
All right. See no further discussions on the CIP. I'll move to the town manager's report.
It's me tonight.
Yes.
If anyone else doesn't have any questions, the only announcement I would like to make is that the farmers market season will open on April 22nd. It is being relocated at Garrison Park. The market is moved to accommodate more parking and better visibility to not only the patrons, but the vendors.
Okay.
So I apologize, the numbers for the January fiscal 21 were not available at the time the report was due. It should be on the website.
All right. Is there any programs coming up this week that the public needs to know about that's happening?
Not that I'm aware of.
Say again.
Oh,
Can you turn the mic on?
I'm sorry. I thought Black History Month was announced at the last.
This opportunity to promote it again.
Okay.
So it's Saturday, the 24th at Little Union, starting at 11 a.m. at Little Union Baptist Church is the Dumfries Black History Program. So got a lot of festivities lined up, some singing, some skits, some other great things. So please govern yourself accordingly. Come on out. And after the program, we're going to give you some food. So that just entice you to come out. We're going to feed you. Council, any questions on the town manager report? Okay, comment, Mr. Pete.
Miss Town Manager, I want to say thank you for this report. It you know, and then understanding your position and stepping into Mr. Rogers' role and of what the level of what we were accustomed to is a difficult task, and I definitely understand that. But then at the same time, listening to you break down the creek on you, that was a nice a bulk of information you gave us and understanding the phases of the creek. So I just want to say thank you and you know, in presenting this and supporting your transition.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Seeing no other. All right, your last report before this fitness report is the stormwater. Should be quick. I mean, I keep saying stormwater.
It's actually the solid waste.
The solid waste plan.
Basically, what the resolution is about is the adoption of the solid waste plan from Prince William County. The town of Dumfries is included in Prince William County's solid waste planning and recycling plan. It has been updated, and this town basically just needs to approve the updates to the solid waste plan.
Move.
Okay, it's been moved. And Mr. Fields, second.
Yes.
Any discussion on the motion, on the resolution? Okay, seeing that the motion on the floor for everybody is for the town council to approve an ordinance to include the revised 2024 Prince William County Solid Waste Management Plan. It's been motioned, it's been second, seeing no discussion. I'll call for the question. Mr. Brown? Aye. Ms. Peterson?
Aye.
Mrs. Miles?
Aye.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Pete?
Yes.
Ms. Nickerson?
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. That motion carries 7-0. All right. Final on the agenda, action item. Seeing like people have read this and had debate and already got ahead of me presenting it, but that's okay. So just a little background before I get into this video. Dumfries and this council had became, well, no, not this council, but in 2018, we became a Platinum Hill community, which means we committed to healthy eating, active living, and we had reached a platinum level. We had set some things in place for community gardens, for walkable trails in our agenda. Even though we don't always do it, we always set, because we committed to health, 15-minute breaks in every hour that we can just get up and kind of walk away. And part of our comp plan that we approved back in 2014 was to commit to bringing in recreational program. Actually, one of our recreational goals was to develop and encourage active participation in recreational activities, team sports, and education and programs. And comp plan went through an extensive public comment period. Council went back and forth. And so we approved a working comprehensive plan to bring you the recreational programs that you continue to ask us for, which is great. We found a great opportunity. VML sent us opportunity for a national fitness campaign to come to Virginia. And they had these grant opportunities. And, me having some inside information as a board member, I sat in on some calls and got to see this thing firsthand. And so we had the opportunity to be able to win one of the grants. And so before I get into the presentation, let me show you what you all have been reading about in the package so you can see it firsthand. And then I'll go through a short presentation and then I'll read this resolution that's before you today. Here's a video. I know. We got to get it up. So, all right. So while he's trying to get the video, see, that's what technology do for you. I will while he's figuring out that the video, I may just go through it until he gets that working. Just talk to you a little bit about the National Fitness Campaign. It's a 2023 Healthy City campaign. The National Fitness Campaign, did he get the video? Oh, he's working on it. All right, so National Fitness Campaign is an organization that's been around since 1979, and they begin to expand their campaigns around the 1980s, and they created a world-class team, and they really begin to redefine it in 2018, welcoming their 500 healthy community. One of their goals and their chief mission statements is to build healthy communities. They want to see some type of fitness activities within a 10-minute bike ride in every community in the U.S. And to be able to get that, and the beautiful part of their goal is they want to make world-class fitness free. All right, let me say that again. They are committed to making world-class fitness free. Most people in a lot of these communities can't afford these monthly gym memberships and to be able to take advantage of that. And so what they have done is they created a comprehensive community wellness program where they have partnered with people who have the skill set to install these. They have tested these machines out. They have support. They offer initial seed grant funding if a locality can't afford. They offer fundraising options to go out and get it for those type of communities, installation, ambassador training. And one of the beautiful parts about this is they have now a mobile app that shows you how to do the core exercises. There's 7 different stations put on this, and I'm hoping we get to see this video. And each station mimics some type of body weight or core body weight movement. It's ADA compliant and is designed for no matter what fitness level you are, whether you're a beginner or you're intermediate. It has these type of activities that will be able to design it. So it's 7 full body weight workouts, core. There's squat stations, there's push statements, there's lunge stations, there's pull stations, there's agility work, and then there's stations that work on your bending and your flexibility on this fitness court. Again, this is for adults of all ages to improve their overall fitness, mental well-being, and to improve their balance. Now, again, there is a fitness court app that will always remain free to the community to be able to use, that shows them how to use these activities and to show them how to work. It creates in our community and the community surrounding communities around, it builds a wellness culture to really engage people to become healthy communities as we begin to see more people out there going. And Joseph, is the video?
The way America thinks about fitness. With 200 fitness courts open, our campaign is growing. From college campuses to city parks and trails, we're bringing free fitness everywhere, and we're just getting started. Hi, I'm Mitch Managid, founder of the National Fitness Campaign. National Fitness Campaign was founded in 1979 when we opened the first fitness court. Redesigned for the 21st century, the fitness court is the world's best outdoor gym. Our 7-movement, 7-minute system allows you to use your own body weight to get the perfect workout. Easy or hard, it will work for you. Our goal is to build healthy communities by making outdoor fitness an essential part of people's lives so that each day is better better than the last. Now more than ever before, it is vital that we move fitness outdoors to remain safe, healthy, and strong.
Michiganders, as soon as we can, we go outside, which is one of the reasons why the fitness court was such an attraction to us. What impressed us most was their basic philosophy that they want to provide world-class fitness for free. Truly, anyone can use them, no matter what your age is, no matter what your physical fitness level is, no matter what your skills are. It is very adaptable.
Thousands of certified ambassadors will be trained to deliver classes, challenges, and clinics as part of our national fitness campaign. New programs are bringing students outdoors across America. The Fitness Court mobile app is your gateway to enroll in these programs. Simply scan the new digital wall with your phone to access a library of free workouts designed to optimize your experience on the fitness court. Learn the moves and take challenges as we dig deep to create impact for our partners across America. This year, we are thrilled to introduce Fitness Court Public Art. Cities have the opportunity to select a local artist to design their fitness court using the power of the arts and fitness outdoors in iconic public spaces. We're proud to have helped cities of all sizes raise millions of dollars from respected sponsors to support free fitness. Wherever fitness is a priority, you can find a fitness court. Building beyond 200 cities and colleges, we're partnering with large cities using urban movement data to map the best locations for healthy infrastructure. We're bringing fitness courts to within 10 minutes of population centers everywhere.
They provide these wraparound services that from a city's perspective, that's what you want in a partner like this. You want it to come presented to you on a silver platter with a bow tied around it. They're one of the best partners, I think, that I personally have ever worked with.
We serve almost 1.2 million members across Michigan. And this partnership really is an opportunity for us to bring scalable, free health and wellness opportunities to our community. So I would actually invite cities and organizations, big and small, to explore the opportunity to invest in fitness courts. To be very honest with you, the feedback from different municipalities and different communities has been very positive.
We're committed to raise $150 million to bring the campaign to 1,000 cities and schools, building the largest fitness movement in the world. Join us. Let's make world-class fitness free.
Now, the campaign's impact, I want to talk about because there is, we were awarded a grant, and I'm gonna go through the cycle for that grant and just talk about how it works and where we're at with it and healthy eating. Part of, I don't think what you saw in there, and if Joseph can go back to the slide on page 100 and where it shows the fitness court studio, which is the new one. If you keep going all the way down, I think it's 111, what's that? 121. Yeah, what is that? I can't see. Keep going. 144. Good eye. Okay, go back up. You went too far. Go up. Up one more. All right, so you saw what they created up to last year, 2022. What they launched this year, and which will be exclusive, there is only one in this area right now, and it's all the way out in Loudoun County. There's another one up in Hyattsville, Maryland, that should have. They just launched in 2023, the fitness court. What they found is a lot of people wanted to do group exercise classes like Zumba and yoga and all of those other type of things out there. And so what they did was they extended on the backside an extension to it so that you can have those other type of exercises that people can come. On the other side, up to 30 people can be up on the core exercises at one time. So on the other side, you can have group-led classes. As you have ambassadors come out there, people can come out to the park and really begin to gather and be together. Next slide. So you see the things we're talking about: fitness, art, dance, yoga, Zumba, Pilates. You can do the stretch exercises out there. Next slide. Now, let's talk about the cost on that. So in addition to, and we'll get into all the costs, it's an additional 35,000 to build that on the other side. And another 7,500 to put the concrete slab down. Next slide. So the grant application period was open and came back. We got approval last Thursday. They were so excitement to actually have a mayor that was excited about this and get involved that our lovely intern director submitted our grant application. They loved the enthusiasm, and we received a grant letter on behalf of the National Fitness Campaign of 30,000. It was pending some certain guidelines and stuff, and some steps we'll take here tonight on it. Oh, look at Joseph, he's right on it. That's cool. And so in the grant, it had some milestones. It has about 6 milestones. The first milestone being a commitment from the council. One, to look at the video, to go through these documents. And we had a deadline of this week to pass a resolution, a letter of support from this council, saying that we are supported, and to be able to show that we're committed to funding this. Second milestone was authorization to proceed with the funding that's confirmed. Once staff comes back with the funding authorization, the next milestone is shipping and store this equipment. Then we look at a milestone 4 to install the concrete slab, whatever art that will get approved to be on there, recommending like Dumfries logo and stuff. They have an artist that's included. There's a fitness court assembly process, which from the concrete install, we have the opportunity to use a third-party vendor to bid it out to have concrete slabs come in there. Then there is a fitness court assembly, and then there's a huge big launch. We're hearing that the council and the police department are going to get together and do a whole big fitness launch with some kids from the Boys and Girls Club in the community, and it'll be a great program. Back to the slide. I want to show you. We don't have the funding. So the total cost investment in this is roughly anywhere from $180,000 to $200,000. We got a $30,000 grant, right? Which takes $30,000 off of it. The rest of the funding is up for us to decide where it was going to come from or to direct. And if you want to, you had a question? Go ahead.
I can wait for yourself.
No. So that was all on that. Go ahead.
So I was just going to ask, would we be able to use ARPA funding to cover the rest of the?
So I would leave it up to staff if we read the resolution to determine where the funding would come from.
Okay.
You know, we got in most of our projects, we either pay go. ARPA funding has been used. They just built one in Jacksonville, Florida, that locality used ARPA funds as well. But I would leave it to abroad. And I think the vice mayor wanted to read the resolution.
Okay.
All right. Was there any other questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I might, and I'd like to say I was out on a fitness court, and that's why I didn't read the resolution draft, but I wasn't, and I definitely need a court. So, but I want to suggest maybe 2 changes to consider, and as you look at the resolution. One is to change the title to say resolution to participate in, as opposed to adopt and allocate funds, because the resolution doesn't really allocate funds. And it looks like that's something that needs to be determined and come back to you. And then the second thing I would recommend in that regard is to add another resolve that the town managers to bring back to council a plan and resolution for appropriation of funds to meet the grant requirements. And then that way you can set forth what funding you're going to use and how it's going to be applied, and then make sure that you meet the schedule in the grant, because the grant's basically a contract.
So what do you give me your 2 recommendations that
Okay, the first one is to change the title to resolution to participate in outdoor fitness court, because that seems to be a name of that's a national name of the program. And then the second one is to add a second resolved for the town manager to bring back to council a plan and resolution for appropriation of funds to meet the grant requirements. And obviously, you're gonna have to, that takes some scheduling to get to final, which is,
Open the council comments.
so anyway, I
So-
just thought I.
No, those are good
mentioned that
considerations,
at the
but we'll,
beginning.
Vice Mayor?
So if we have ARPA funding that is already available, and I know that we have fund balance, so we have funding that is already available. Is there something in particular that needs to be done in order to apply those monies to this?
Two
If the
things.
money's, if the
Two
money's
things.
already available?
Yes, first is, I can't tell you right now that you can use ARPA funds. And whether or not you can use ARPA funds is a very serious legal consideration that you just need to make sure that you can do it. I appreciate the fact that another locality may have, but we need to look at that because it's not immediately coming to mind that it fits the classifications. Not saying no, just saying I'd like to check that. And I have not been asked to do it and haven't looked at it. The second thing is that you have to appropriate the money. And I don't know, maybe Ms. Prevost-White can tell me, because I don't do the math well, whether 200,000 of an appropriation is 1% triggering a public hearing. So what my second resolve would do would hopefully accomplish all of those things, ascertain whether it's ARPA or some other source that you will use to complement the grant funding. If there has to be a public hearing, to include that in there, and then make sure that you have a kind of chronology timeline to accomplish, or a critical path, you might even call it, to accomplish getting the project done consistent with the grant requirements.
Okay,
So that's what as I looked at this, I went, oh, I think those are the things that need to be embodied. I'm particularly concerned that if we're going to accept a grant, we're saying we're going to meet their deadlines.
Okay,
And
thank you for that, because
Yeah,
that was
so-
my question. I absolutely want to ensure that we have fiscal responsibility with this. I also want us to keep the grant deadline in mind. So can we have these actions taking place between now and the next meeting, or be prepared for this by the next meeting so that we can stay on target with
Sure.
the grant timeline so that we don't
yeah,
lose it?
I appreciate that. And I think, and again, this is where Ms. Hill comes in. I don't know whether there's enough time to advertise for the next meeting, but and I recollect we only have to advertise once a week as opposed to once a week for 2 weeks.
I think if I go ahead and email it, if I'm not mistaken tonight, I believe it's just what, 7 or 14 days.
Yeah, it's a shorter time than for a land use matter. So, so I think we got a little bit of time enough to figure out whether the 1% requirement by law for an advertisement is required. If not, then I can't speak as to all the other things. I can just tell you my legal advice. So the rest
you.
you need to ask Ms. Prevost-White whether that's all doable by the next meeting.
Okay, okay, thank you.
It is, the grant that we get is $30,000, correct, Mr. Mayor?
That is correct.
So that is less than 1% of the budget.
No. The cost that we need to appropriate.
But the
is-
cost is
it's-
more. What it will cost us to do the total installation is more than
What's our total budget?
1.7 million.
No. Dumfries' total budget? 7 million.
I'm sorry. I said 1.7.
You
I'm
did.
sorry. I meant 7.2 million.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I was like, wait, I'm pretty
Yes,
intimate with our budget.
It's 7.2 million, right? So it's the 30,000 is less than 1%, but the total cost of it is more than 1%.
Is it?
1% of 7 million.
Is $72,000.
You sure?
Yes, I did the math
Seven.
before I came here. 10% would be 720.
Okay, 10%. Okay. All right, so whatever, so do we need to add that language into the resolution to adopt, the advertise for a public hearing?
Yes, why don't you put it in there if
Okay.
necessary?
You
If you
say
could
yes.
state it that way, and
Mhm.
that leaves us, if we don't need a public hearing, then we won't.
Okay. What is that, March the 7th? Okay. All right, council, any other thoughts or comments? Vice Mayor, you had your thing on?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
I just want to.
Mr. Brown?
Thank you, Ms. Pandek. I appreciate your guidance.
Absolutely. Keep us fiscally responsible.
Desires to schedule a public hearing on March 7th. And what was that title again? I'm just gonna read it.
Sorry, the title, I'm,
Okay,
the title is Resolution to Participate in
okay,
Outdoor Fitness Court.
okay. To participate. Mhm.
Schedule.
Yes. Oh, you want to read it? Okay. And there was one more resolve. What was the last resolve? Now therefore be it
Yes,
resolved.
that the town managers to bring back to council a plan and resolution for appropriation of funds to meet the grant requirements, and a public hearing is set for a public hearing, if required, is set for March 7th.
Okay, I'm going to read the resolution. So the resolution to participate in outdoor fitness court as a part of the 2023 National Fitness Campaign. Whereas the town of Dumfries has submitted a grant application to National Fitness Campaign for participation in their 2023 initiative to install and activate outdoor fitness courts in 200 cities and schools across the country. And whereas the town of Dumfries plans to promote and implement a free to the public outdoor fitness court in alignment with its 2014 comprehensive plan to provide recreational opportunities for all ages of residents within the town of Dumfries. And whereas the town of Dumfries will secure funding as needed through community sponsors, our general fund, which will be made available and committed to the program for the purchase of the outdoor fitness court. And whereas the town of Dumfries will commit to construction and launch of the outdoor fitness court by the end of the 2023 fiscal year. And whereas the town of Dumfries Town Council believes the outdoor fitness court is an important wellness ecosystem that supports healthier communities, commits to funding to participate in NFC's 2023 campaign, and will earn local and national recognition as a leader in providing affordable health and wellness. And whereas the town of Dumfries Town Council has been committed to being a healthy eating, active living community, committed to identifying and supporting recreational programs that encourage active living since 2014, with resolution R 2014-019. Whereas the town of Dumfries Council desires to schedule a public hearing on March 7th. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Dumfries Town Council will collaborate with NFC to implement the outdoor fitness and make fitness free to the community and visitors. The town manager is to bring a funding plan for March 7th public hearing. The resolution shall become effective on February 21, 2023.
That's your motion?
That is my motion.
Second. Second by Councilman Pete. Any further discussion, advisement? All right, seeing no further discussion. Councilman Fields?
Yes.
Councilman Pete?
Yes.
Councilwoman Miles?
Aye.
Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Councilwoman Peterson,
Aye.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
and that's a yes for me. That motion carries 7-0. This time we will take a 10-minute recess. Oh, we got to read this thing before we go in.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Do this.
I'll read it. Whereas the town council of the town of Dumfries had, oh, sorry. Wrong one. Whereas the town council of Dumfries desires to discuss in closed meeting the following matters. One matter of litigation, CATT LLC versus the town of Dumfries, case number CL 21002032-00, one personnel relating to the assignment of specific employee. Whereas pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711 Alpha 1 and 7, such discussions may occur in closed session. Now, therefore, be it resolved on a motion made by myself.
Second.
The town council desires to authorize discussion. It's been motion a second. Councilman Fields,
Yes.
Ms. Miles.
Aye.
Mr. Pete,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Brown. Aye. Vice Mayor,
Yes.
and that's a yes for me. We'll convene at the top of the hour at 9:00. Take a 10-minute recess. Yes.
Okay, all right. You know you draw that out long. So you draw it out long, but you know, you negotiate that with him? Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. No, we. No. What, my problem? Yeah, and you don't want to do that.
Katrina, you're never going to want to have another closed meeting. You're gonna go.
I won't say that till 5 in the morning when I'm driving down.
Is the basketball here?
Yes, they won.
Who for his part?
Yeah. I don't know. She's mad at me now because she hungry.
Whereas the Town Council of Dumfries has convened in closed meeting to the date pursuant affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, whereas Virginia Code 2.2-3712 requires a certification by the Town Council that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters that was lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in closed session. And this resolution will certify that only such public business matters as were identified in the motion in which we went in closed session were heard, discussed, or considered. By motion?
So move.
Second.
And it's been properly motioned. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, I call for the question. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Peterson?
Aye.
Ms. Miles?
Aye.
Mr. Pete?
No.
Mr. Pete, did we discuss anything that we didn't go in closed session for that you want to disclose to the public? There's something that we went in to talk about personnel matters and legal matters. So we just, what do you want to disclose? We're just closing out closed session. Huh? Okay, so yes, I'm just wanted to see if it was something else you wanted to tell us. Mr. Fields,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
and that's a yes for me. All right, that motion carries 7-0. All right, now, is there any action that we're taking? Town Attorney? Nope.
No, sir.
All right, there's no action at this time. The meeting is adjourned.